So for nymphing, okay. Now you have butt section. It's not necessary. So butt section is a bit thicker than the front section. You want to use 2 diameters. Okay? So butt section is around 60%, and front section taper one, thinner, 40%. Yeah. So this is 60 and 40, and then bicolor and tippet. More or less, it's not important. You can use the level. It's also okay. I usually don't use the spiral, but it's much easier to see now. Because with spiral, before you feel the fish, it will do this. That's why this one is very short. But it's very easy, it's like you have very... And I usually don't use like this long. It's around 50 centimeters, but it's okay. You can use like all the way, you can use just very, very colorful line. It's around 1.5 rod lengths, but you can make it longer. It's not important. It depends. Like for competition, the whole system should be 2 lengths of the rod, like leader plus tippet plus sighter, 2 rod lengths for competition. When you don't compete, you can make it as long as you want. Longer the better.
It's only the tap leader part, right?
No tapered leader. I don't use.
For the first section.
This one here, butt section.
Yeah.
This one is, for example, 15 lbs, and then I transfer to 12, and then I use the tippet bicolor. Okay? So 15, 12. That's for smaller nymphs. For very strong water like this, you can use 20, 15. That's also okay. For like, this is 0 weight, so I can go down with leader. Okay? Because you can even cast your fly like this. Okay? So, about casting this, it's not normal cast. So you can do a lob cast, you know, tuck cast. Yeah. So stop high and make it hit the water and let it sink. That's one option. If it's very deep. Okay. So about the how deep? If this is the depth of the water, this is the length of the tippet, like 1.5, maybe 2 depth. So look at this. So look at my hands. So I will put the nymph on the bottom, okay? Put the nymph down, and this is how deep it is. This, okay? So if your tippet is very short, you have to go vertically to be near the bottom. It's not. You don't need to do this on the bottom. It's okay if you're like above it, or even like this above. It's okay. So you make it 1.5, so you can make an angle, and you follow it. And if your sighter is here, just above the water, you watch the distance between this part here or this part. It's okay. You watch the distance, and if it does this, you try set the hook. So you just watch the distance here. Okay? Now look about this. Okay, if you have very light nymph, you will not see this usually. Your whole system will be like this, like bent. Okay? So for example, you cast here 2 millimeter bead. It doesn't go down all the way, but it's okay, it's good. Sometimes half the way is very, very good. So the nymph is here and it goes. If fish, so it goes like this. If fish catches, fish stays there. Up, it straightens. This is what happens to everything. Okay? And this is, you first see this, and then you can feel it here. That's why this part is very important. So, the most important thing to know about Euro nymphing is to place your cast like this. Your nymph goes upstream, the whole system goes downstream. So when the fish grabs it there, you will see it on your leader. Okay, that rule doesn't apply here. It applies here. That rule is okay here, because you can see the current. But here, the current is going upstream. So you do the opposite way. You cast here and you pull your nymphs like this. You have to see with your eyes, or sometimes you don't see. Because sometimes this current here can go like this. The bottom one can go upstream. So it's very different. So when you cast upstream and your nymph is downstream, this is what happens. The fish catches the fly and it goes like this. It creates slack. You don't feel anything, you don't see anything. And sometimes when fish grabs the nymph, it can go down, so everything stays the same. Okay? That's why you can, but you have to make tight connection. If you go like nymph, sighter, if you go downstream, you have to keep tight connection. Okay? Now I will show you like how it works. So I'll be here. So you usually cast, sometimes you can cast like directly upstream. Like here. You can cast direct, huh? So you can cast directly upstream and you should follow with your rod. Keep the tension always the same. Okay? If it's very straight, it means that you are too fast. So look at my line. If it's very straight, you're too fast. If it has a little bit of bend, it's okay. Now I'm on the bottom. See? And when something happens like this, you set the hook. So usually you position yourself 45 degrees from the place you want to cast. So I want to cast there, and I follow with my rod tip. Okay, like this. And when my nymph goes like here, below me, you start new cast with a set hook. You set the hook first. So like this. You set the hook, you feel the bump behind you, then you recast. So, feel the bump, recast. Okay? The best searching area is upstream, and like 15-20 degrees, it's like sinking. Usually you can get fish, but it's like that area. I will explain why. From here to here, it's active. And from here to here, it's rising up. It's also active. If you make it straight and you follow immediately, the nymph will not sink. I will do that now. Can you see how high sighter is above the water? Nymph is following that, okay? So, as soon as you cast, if it's a little bit deeper like here, make a little bit of slack, like this. Let it rest on the water until it sinks. Now, it's on the bottom, okay? Let it sink and then follow. I was on the bottom, okay? Make it very slow. See? I reached the bottom. Okay, so it's like this. If you cast and immediately try to follow everything like your nymph, this is my nymph here. So nymph will stay shallow. But if you cast and you put slack into this, the nymph will pull down, and when it's down, you follow. Okay? And you keep this tension always like this. Sorry. Low fei. Okay.